Rise of Kingdoms just revealed the upcoming spring update for 2026, and there are a ton of exciting things in this brand new update, and surely we'll hear about new infantry commanders, right? Okay, I skimmed through it. There's nothing about the new infantry in here, but this is still a very exciting update. So today, let's dive in and see what is coming soon to Rise of Kingdoms. But first, what's going on, guys? Cheers. Now, before we begin, of course, as you guys know, I'm a sponsored partnered creator with Rise of Kingdoms. So if you want more Rise of Kingdoms content, consider subscribing down below, clicking that thumbs up button. It really does help out the channel a ton. And with that out of the way, let's jump right in here. Okay, so update 1.1.03 is going to be landing on January 20th at 6 UTC with a 3-hour downtime. That is 1 week from today. This is the typical release window, right? They almost always tell us about the update 1 week in advance. Spring Festival event series. As the clip clop of hooves bids farewell to the passing year, the arrival of the new year brings fresh fortune and hope. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I don't know anybody who like came out and was like 2026 is gonna be my year. I feel like people have just been beaten down the last few years and they're not even excited about it. But hey, at least Rise of Kingdoms is optimistic. Okay, we love to see it. Let's celebrate the coming of spring with our spring festival event series, Riders Tidings. Great fortune arrives with the year of the horse. Complete daily quests to earn abundant rewards, including wishing coins. Have we had wishing coins before? I feel like we have. I feel like that sounds familiar, but maybe I'm wrong. I'm not sure. Auspicious greetings. Log in daily to claim gifts and unlock even greater premium rewards. This is awesome. They don't tell us what the rewards actually are here, but a daily login event is fantastic. Maybe it's a 7-day login event, something like that. Lucky red packet. Begin the new year on a high by sharing a lucky gift. We see this every single year. We love to see that. Esmeralda's prayer is coming back. Sharp eyes and quick hands is the puzzle event. The treasure hunt event is coming back, and the race against time event is coming back once again. Okay, so let's move on to the Lost Kingdom and Season of Conquest changes, because this is a big one. Okay, new honing feature for armaments. Governors can now steadily enhance the attributes of legendary armaments using the new honing feature. This is gonna be big. Only select armament attributes can be improved through honing, which include attack, defense, health, and march speed attributes of infantry, cavalry, archers, and siege, as well as all damage. Okay, so you're not going to be able to hone your way to a maximum upgrade for barbarian damage or something like that. Attributes other than all damage increase by 0.2% each time you hone, with a maximum increase of 3.5%. If you chose to hone all damage, gain a 0.1% increase each time, with a maximum increase of 2%. This makes sense, of course. The higher limit cap of the stats is higher, so of course they're going to go up by more with every single time that you hone. Honing consumes honing stones, which can only be obtained from the Autarch limited section of the inscription shop. I do not like that. Okay, but we'll talk more about Autarch limited stuff in a second. Honing stones will be available via the inscription shop in the Lost Kingdom after this version update. Okay, so if you're already in the Lost Kingdom right now, they will not be adding them to your shop. Okay, so they're only going to be added to Lost Kingdoms that come out after this update is already live. Okay, and that's everything that they tell us about honing. Now, I have a ton of questions about this, so of course we'll have to wait and see for it to come into the game to know. But for example, if you hone an armament, does it increase all of your stats by 0.2%, or do you have to hone each stat individually, right? Like, okay, I want to upgrade my health now, and then next time I hone I'll do defense, right? Like, how does that actually work? Or does it just increase all the stats by whatever their maximum amount is, right? So let's say you have attack, defense, and all damage. It'll be 0.2% for attack and defense, and then 0.1% for all damage all at once, right? Like, how is that going to work? I'm very curious. The other thing that I want to know here is that it says there is a maximum increase of 3.5%. Okay, so I assume that this means that the highest an attribute can go is 3.5%. So in other words, right now for this armament right here, I have 3.4% health, right? So I assume if I hone this, it will only go up by 0.1, right? That's my assumption. The other thing that they could mean here, and this is something that actually kind of worries me if I'm being honest with you, is that you can increase them by 3.5%. So if you already have a perfect armament, is it the case that you will be able to increase even a max armament by 3.5%, right? So for just to use this same armament as an example, can I increase my health by 3.5% to make it 6.9%, right? Which is better than 7%. In case you guys didn't know that, it's true. 6.9% is actually better than 7.0%. And even better than that is 6.7%. Okay, anyway, I'm just being a dumbass. The sun's not even out yet, okay? I'm just being a goofball. These are the things I do for you guys to get these videos out as soon as possible. But anyway, those are things that I'm curious about and frankly concerned about, considering you can only get these from the Autarch limited section of the inscription shop. Okay, so winning your kvks is now even more important, which is not a good thing, right? Like, we don't want a world where the gap between winning kingdoms gets even greater, and then what, people just start leaving other kingdoms and the power consolidates once again, and then we run through into the same issue that we've had for years now in Rise of Kingdoms. I don't know why they've done this. Well, I know why they've done it. They want to make sure that this is a very premium reward here for people that maybe already have a lot of the special inscriptions in that shop, right? So that's that. I'm curious to know, like, how many honing stones are you going to be able to get here, because clearly if you can only increase by 0.2%, then you're going to need a lot of honing stones to like really max out an armament, right? So those are my concerns. I really don't want to see 7% stat armaments, right? Like, that would be horrible. Okay, that would actually be really bad if you're allowed to hone armaments that are already at 3.5% all the way up to 7%. Like, you are now doubling the effectiveness of armaments, right? As if the gap wasn't already massive between low spenders and free to play and the high spender whales. So yeah, I have probably more concerns about this system than anything. I'm very worried about this, to be honest with you guys. But that being said, let's assume the best case scenario. The best case scenario would be that the maximum an attribute can go to does not change. It stays at 3.5%. Then this system could be very good, right? Because this is just incremental improvements. You don't have to do any of the RNG stuff. You just literally just get these, upgrade your good armaments, you're good to go. You don't have to keep re-rolling, reset, re-roll. So that's good. If I'm a betting man, I feel like based on the wording here, it sounds like the cap for armament attributes is going up. If that is not how this works, then they need to change the wording here, because this says that the increase is 3.5%. They do not list what the maximum is, and that worries me. And also from a logical perspective, it would make sense that they would be increasing the cap here, at least for honing, right? I think when you roll armaments, it's still probably going to be the cap is 3.5, but with honing, it would make sense that they would actually increase the cap to accommodate honing, because they're adding a whole new system, right? And so if there's a bunch of these whale players who already have perfect or near perfect armaments, then they're not even going to use this system, right? Because like, what are they going to do? Like, why would they hone? They've already got perfect stuff, right? So I don't know, we're gonna have to wait and see how this actually works. I'm very worried about this system, frankly, because of just the wording here. But assuming that the cap doesn't change, I really like this. I obviously, right, I mean, and the ability to just improve what you already have, that's fantastic. Less RNG, that's fantastic, right? Like, all that's good, but there's a lot of like yellow and red tape around it that make me wonder, like, how good is the system really gonna be? We'll have to wait and see. Let's move on here. Optimized voting rules during the matchmaking phase. When matchmaking results are announced, each kingdom may cast a vote. Votes are calculated independently for each camp. If more than 80% of the votes within a camp reject the results, that camp is considered to have refused the match. Otherwise, the result is accepted. If all camps in the lost kingdom choose to reject the matchmaking result, this match will be canceled and all the kingdoms will be re-entered into story registration. Okay, we already heard about this. We already knew about this. They are finally implementing it. That is very good. Hopefully this helps with matchmaking that players feel are unfair. These changes only apply to story registration after the version update. Okay, of course, that makes sense. Optimized by-election rules. Kingdoms that have reached their skip limit for story registration will be assigned to a story with a higher likelihood of successful matchmaking during the by-election phase. Kings will not be able to refuse this assignment. Okay, so we already knew about this as well, but my question here is the ability for them to put you in a matchmaking scenario with a higher likelihood of success means that they have on the back end a sort of probability meter of successful acceptance rates, right? So my question is, if you know that some matchmaking is more likely to be accepted than others, why aren't we just putting kingdoms together with a very high likelihood of success anyway, right? Like obviously I'm not a game developer, so I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but like wouldn't you always want to put kingdoms together with the highest possibility or highest likelihood of acceptance, right? Because if it's more likely to be accepted, the implication there is that it's the most fair matchup. No, is that not like maybe I'm missing something here, but I guess this is cool. Okay, moving on. Optimized Season of Conquest reward mechanics. They're adding a new Lost Kingdom tier. They have recently revealed this, but now we get some more details. They are giving us the A+ tier. After the version update, the Lost Kingdom tiers will be A+, S, and S+. In addition to the rewards available at each existing Lost Kingdom tier, the following additions will be introduced. When the Lost Kingdom tier reaches A+ or higher, camps that do not capture the Great Zig will also receive additional autarch testimonies. These rewards will be distributed by the leader of the coalition that captures the Crusader Fortress. Are we going to start to see camps fighting over the Crusader Fortress now? Is that what's going to happen here? I don't know about that, but anyway, this is good, right? I mean, more autarch testimonies, that is a good thing. We like to see that. That's fantastic. And the fact that it's at A+ instead of S or S+ means that it is more likely to be obtained in every KvK where fighting actually occurs. Okay, in my current KvK we did reach S+, I think in Kingsland, like right when Kingsland opened, I believe we hit S+, so hitting A+ should be pretty easy for most KvKs. When the Lost Kingdom tier reaches S or higher, the coalition that captures the Great Ziggurat will receive additional legendary autarch testimonies. When the Lost Kingdom tier reaches S+, the coalition that captures the Great Zig will be able to share a Star of Champions with any other coalition. That's very good. I'm very happy to see this. It is a long time coming. I feel like we needed this a long time ago, so I'm very happy to see that. This change applies only to Lost Kingdoms that begin after the update. Of course, that makes sense. Optimized season pace. When Eve of the Crusade and Lost Kingdom are available simultaneously, high-level marauders and marauder encampments will spawn in both the home kingdom and the Lost Kingdom. There is a chance of earning crystals from defeating high-level marauders and marauder encampments at the cost of greater action point consumption. This change only applies to Season of Conquest Lost Kingdoms that begin after the update, excluding the first run of a Season of Conquest story. Honestly, I didn't love having Eve of the Crusade in the Lost Kingdom. That's just me, but I am glad to see that they are now adding crystals to marauders. We talked about this in a previous video. It'll cost more AP, and that's because you're getting more rewards, so it makes sense to do that. So that's great. Next up, optimized kingdom merger. Adjusted team up requirements. The minimum number of kingdoms required to form a team has been reduced from 3 to 2. In addition, the required total number of active governors has been reduced from 200 to 150. Okay, cool. Remove team up restrictions in different Lost Kingdoms. Kingdoms participating in the same exclusive kingdom merger story can now freely team up with one another via kingdom merger. Great. New team power limit rule. A team's total power is equal to the sum of the top 300 governors. Okay, great. You applied or obtained permission for special immigration to a kingdom registered for a merger before the process begins. These immigration records will be reset. Nice. All right, cool. So they're optimizing kingdom merger. It is what it is. I have not experienced this before. If you guys like this system, you can let me know down below. Optimized Season of Conquest story team up. The team formation mechanics for Season of Conquest stories featuring 4 camps have been optimized. The team composition structure for each camp has been adjusted from S, AB, and CCDD types to S, AABB, and CCCDDD. Okay, great. So we're adding more to the camps here. Okay, Season of Conquest coalition adjustments. The number of starting alliance members in a coalition has been increased from 2 to 4. Okay, that's awesome. Fixed and issue or gathering type bastion quests can be manually generated after reaching level 6 favor with certain bastion commanders. I didn't even know that that was a bug, but I'm glad to see that that is fixed. Okay, now we've got control and combat quality of life optimizations. Optimized alliance building dismantling. After initiating building dismantling is only considered complete after a countdown process. An email push notification will be sent before the countdown ends. You can cancel it. Okay, got it. Optimized king's skill. Expanded access for the watch list management. Kings and rulers now all have permission to do so. Kings and rulers can no longer become skill targets for watch lists or banishment. Okay, great. We love that. Home kingdom territory protection. Upon entering Season of Conquest, territory protection mechanics will be applied in the home kingdom. Governors will no longer be able to attack cities within the territories of other alliances. This is great, as I love to see this. You never like it when there's a KvK going on and then some rogue alliance that nobody cares about in home kingdom is just goofing off and like attacking stuff. It doesn't happen often, especially especially in kingdoms that are like well ruled, but it still is pointless. Like don't even allow them to do it. Optimize skill descriptions for Moctezuma. Yes, we're finally getting an optimization for Moctezuma's skill description. I'm sure everyone noticed this. I'm sure everyone cares about this. The skill description has been changed. Okay, so basically they changed it from launching a base attack against barbs to launching a base attack against barbs or other neutral units. They say this change is text only and does not affect the skill's actual effect. Okay, so Moctezuma has always been reducing the health of all neutral targets, not just barbarians. Okay, so this includes things like guardians, for example. Okay, so yes, Moctezuma has a more clear description now for all of you who were considering getting Moctezuma in 2026. Now you know exactly what you're getting your hands on. Optimized battle reports. This is great here. We love this. New search feature. Governors can now quickly locate battle details needed by the search feature in battle logs. This is going to make looking for like skill procs and things a lot easier. So if we're trying to hunt down and see like how do things work, how often do things overlap, right? Like this is going to be really good to see. New statistics feature. Trigger instances and details for commander skills, equipment, armaments, talents, and more will now be displayed in battle reports. Okay, so if you have like those tier 5 iconic weapons and stuff and you want to know like what the trigger chance is, well, not the trigger chance, but just how often does it actually trigger in a battle, now you'll be able to just see it right here, which is great. Optimized replay feature for Sunset Canyon, Lost Canyon, and Sunset Canyon Tournament, Canyon Clash, Mercantile Melee. Okay, they increased the download time. That's cool. Game mode optimizations. Champions of Olympia event optimization. Optimized matchmaking algorithm. Ranked mode now matches governors more fairly with opponents in a similar league bracket. Great, we like it. We like improved matchmaking. League specific matchmaking option. Governors who have reached Ascendant, Sage, or Champion above can choose to disable expanded matchmaking range to find matches within a specific league bracket. Expanded block list. Okay, cool. Passive play compensation in ranked mode. If detected negative behavior impacts match outcomes, affected governors will receive compensation. That's really good. We like to see that. We should get that for KvK as well, right? If matchmaking is just horrible in KvK and like somebody just gives up halfway through, everyone should be compensated for the KvK ending early. Arc of Osiris optimizations. Matchmaking algorithm is improved. Your historical participation rate in the golden battlefield over the last 90 days will now be taken into account. That's great. Post Lost Kingdom Pioneer content. This is interesting. Okay, so this is after the Lost Kingdom closes, apparently. Feast of Conquest. Participate in attacks on barbarian forts to restore daily action points. Okay, so a lot of kingdoms already do this. A lot of kingdoms, when KvK is over, you back to home kingdom and the grind resumes, right? You go back to farming those barb forts. Now we have an official post Lost Kingdom event to participate in this. Hopefully they give you even more rewards on top of just the barb rewards here. Dark Fortress raid. Rally your allies, attack the dark fortresses, and rack up rewards. This is great. The Dark Fortress raids were cool anyway, so we like to see that. Please check the event calendar for detailed schedules. Pioneer experience will be available in select kingdoms after the version update. Okay, cool. The second Supreme Strife is here as mighty governors clash across countless kingdoms. Who will claim the ultimate victory? This time a new match system is ready for all governors. Cross kingdom pact formation. This mechanic is retained, but governors will no longer be able to change packs while the event is ongoing. That makes sense. Previous multiple party battles are now replaced with a one-on-one format on brand new maps. Reduced match duration. Match time has been shortened from 4 hours to 2.5 hours, significantly reducing combat pressure and participation barriers. The total number of participating packs has been raised from 32 to 64. There's a new betting feature as well. Bounty system pioneer coming soon. Governors within an alliance can carry out tasks. See, I'm curious here. Is this for Supreme Strife? Or is this just a post Lost Kingdom Pioneer content? Because they put the bullet point after Supreme Strife, but I actually think that this is post Lost Kingdom Pioneer content. Okay, governors within an alliance can carry out tasks such as defeating barbarians and barbarian forts and providing alliance help to earn armory resources and store them in the alliance armory. The alliance leaders and counselor can use resources from the armory to post alliance bounties. Governors who complete these bounties will receive abundant rewards. This feature will be available for kingdoms in season 1 and beyond, and this pioneer event will be available for certain kingdoms after the version update. So this I actually really like a lot. This is, again, according to this, I suppose it will be a post Lost Kingdom Pioneer event, but just having more things to do in the post KvK period, right, is very good. Also, just more rewards here is very good. This is a way basically to kind of incentivize players to be active in in the post KvK season. We love to see that and actually reward them for doing so. Okay, so very good stuff here. I actually like this a lot, again assuming it's not part of Supreme Strife, because I just don't like how they bulleted this. They probably should have put Supreme Strife at the bottom here or put that in a separate bracket altogether. But anyway, other features. Okay, let's talk about this. Updates to Kingdom Select tier and city themes. New Kingdom Select tiers Silver, Gold, and Platinum, each with exclusive city themes, have been added. Governors who reach a specific Kingdom Select tier gain access to corresponding city themes. Meeting certain requirements later can extend access. Okay, I've gone on record to say this in previous videos. I'll say it again. Kingdom Select city skins are garbage. I hate them. I hate the idea of them. I hate the power creep of them. I hate literally everything about them. I do not see any redeeming factor here other than to make certain players feel, you know, unique and warm and fuzzy inside. I think the power creep for these is just not good for the game objectively. I don't see any way that you could argue otherwise. Expanding this system does nothing for me. It does not make the system better. It honestly probably just makes the system worse in the long run. I don't like this, point blank period. Nothing about the system is good. I don't see how this is going to make it better. Adjusted Kingdom Select exclusive city theme effects. The field reinforcement effect of Phoenix Pavilion will no longer apply in Ark of Osiris or Osiris League. You should include in this certain events such as Arms Master Lohar, right? Like, what are we doing here? The Wolf's Den effect of Frost Howl Sanctum will now only affect yourself in Ark of Osiris and Osiris League rather than other governors. Okay, again, I guess that's an improvement, but really this should just be thrown in the garbage. I hate to be like, I don't want to come off as just super negative here, but again, like the power creep of these skins is just not needed in the game at all whatsoever. There's just only negatives to this, frankly. It is what it is. Added character selection feature at login. Okay, cool. You can select your preferred account character while the game is loading by tapping the button on the right side. After confirmation, you will log into this character once the game reloads. That is good. So if you want to boot up the game and, you know, last time you played you were on your farm, but now you want to log into your main, you just click the button and boom, it'll load into your main. We love to see that. This feature is disabled if no character has been created. That makes sense. Adjusted museum relic purchase times. The relics of commanders Mary, Archimedes, Takeda, and Siaj Ka'ak can now be purchased during season 3. I don't really see the benefit here. I feel like these museum relics really don't move the needle for these commanders very much. I guess if you're a siege main, you can get these, right? Takeda, like, are people still rallying with Takeda? I don't think so, right? I don't see why they're changing the purchase time here when frankly I don't think any of these even deserve or warrant purchase in the first place, but okay. Wheel and Fortune improvements. A multi-spin feature has been added. We already have a 5x spin, so I'm frankly confused. Are you going to be able to do the 5 spin multiple times, or are they going to add a 10 spin here? I'm confused what that is. You can now buy flux script bundles at once with more combinations. Okay, cool. Optimize the trigger mechanics for the Fate Changer bundle. More Fate Changers, baby. Let's go. I only got one this KvK, so that's pretty cool. I don't buy Fate Changers anymore, but I know that they are pretty good value for people who are interested. Buff expiry notifications. Governors will now receive an email notification when a battle related buff expires. From the email, you can jump directly to any corresponding items needed to reactivate buffs. Okay, that's pretty cool. I like to see that. Are people gonna have like their email tab open on the side here when just to keep up with that, right? Like, am I gonna get an email when my rune buff is gone, right? Like, that would be pretty interesting, right? At least then I won't be fighting without one. Not that I ever do, because I'm like neurotic about that. But anyway, PC chat interface fixed an issue where entering the chat interface on PC prevented locating the latest message in the current chat channel. Nice. Muted status reminders. Optimize text for muted status reminders. Okay, cool. Penalty notification mail. Optimize notification emails regarding penalties reported for reported governors that now include duration. Okay, great. That is everything in the update. I think we've got a lot of really important things coming. Obviously the spring festival, whatever these premium rewards are, is something to look forward to. You know, didn't we get Bai Chi last year, if I'm not mistaken? Didn't Bai Chi come around for this the beginning, like in January? I don't remember exactly, but I think that's what it was. So I'm really excited to see what the spring festival event brings us. The honing feature might be good depending on how they implement it. It should be good based on how the system works. Incremental upgrades that you just get, that should be good in theory on paper. So I'm, you know, cautiously optimistic here, but I do see a couple of pitfalls in the wording of this. Adjusted matchmaking, lots of other things that are just great improvements here we love to see. Of course, optimized skill description for Moctezuma is very good. We really like to see that a lot. That's huge, probably the biggest thing in this entire update. And the city select tier and city themes continue to be a meme. So anyway, let me know what you guys think about the Verdant spring update patch notes. Are you excited for this update? Are you worried about this update? Let me know what you think down below. I mean, this is a massive update, frankly. There's a lot of stuff here, so really lots of optimizations for matchmaking for all different types of game modes, not just KvK, but we saw Champions of Olympia, we saw Supreme Strife is coming. Like, there's lots of, you know, matchmaking tweaks here, so really good stuff. Overall, I think this is a solid update. I just want to see more details for some of the things like the honing feature. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. While you're down there, drop a thumbs up on the video. It really helps out the channel a ton. It helps get this video out into the YouTube algorithm so other Rise of Kingdoms players might see it. Also, you guys might have seen a ton of my videos and you think you're subscribed, but you're actually not. Double check down below. And that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been Omniarch. We'll talk to you guys again soon. Peace.